What's going on, guys? My name is Oppai Senpai, and we are back with JoJo Part 4, Season 4. Alright, the continuation of the greatness that is JoJo is back, and I'm so excited, man. This episode was amazing. So now, this is JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. Diamond is Unbreakable, and it's Part 4. It is the continuation of Part 3, Stardust Crusader. So let me get into this. This is an amazing episode, and I'm gonna go really in depth into episode 1. What is going on? Who are these characters, and where is the story going? But the question is, one of the most important questions before we even begin is, do you need to have seen the previous JoJo's in order to watch Part 4? Now the answer is no, but you should watch Part 3, Part 2, and Part 1. But let me explain why the answer is no. A bunch of you are probably going to the comment section right now before I'm even finishing my sentence and are commenting, no, Joe, no, you have to have seen Oppai Senpai. You need to have seen the previous seasons in order to understand Season 4. Let me explain something. When you go watch Batman vs. Superman, or The Avengers, or Spider-Man, or X-Men, or Deadpool, okay, Deadpool is a perfect example. That's a complicated movie, all right, and story. Do you need to have read the comics in order to enjoy or understand the movie? No, the writers write this in a way that is accessible to everybody, because you have the producers on top on the anime studio, the producers saying, make us as much money as possible, with as many viewers as possible. That goes to the writers, and the writers, they know this. So they write this in a way where they can reintroduce some of the important characters and key elements of the plot to newbies, people who haven't seen the previous seasons. Let me give you an example. In this episode, Jotaro was telling Josuke about a stand. He said, a stand is the physical manifestation of your psychological abilities or state. So obviously we know that already if you've seen the previous seasons. But if you're a newbie, now you know. And as a newbie, you're probably wondering, who is Joseph? Who is this 78-year-old creepy guy who's cheating and who's having an affair? This Joseph guy. Okay, so if you have seen the previous seasons, you will know that this guy is epic, hilarious, one of the most favorite characters and beloved characters of the series. But for the newbies, you won't learn that until later. So that is the difference between a newbie and somebody who's seen the previous seasons or read the manga, is that you will have a better understanding of the Easter eggs and of the story. But it is not a requirement to get the basic understanding and to enjoy the series. All right, let's get into the episode. So it takes place in 1999, 11 years after the end of Stardust Crusader Part 3. Now, it takes place in a small town of about 54,000 residents. So it's definitely a small town. Anything that goes on, it spreads quickly. Word spreads quickly in this town. Now, initially, we're introduced to a character. His name is Koichi Hirose. And let me talk about this because I know some of you do not like this character. Why is this character important? This character, he's not a stand user, or at least it seems right now he's not a stand user. He's weak. He has no powers. He can't fight. Like, what's the point of this character? Here is the answer. This character serves as the announcer, the bystander, witnessing what's happening throughout the story. He is almost like a history, a record keeper, all right? So that is the point of him. He thinks like a spectator, all right? He's very rational, intelligent, and he doesn't have the mindset of a fighter. So he's just gonna sit back and just write down and kind of commentate on what's happening. For example, if there's a fight going on, he's gonna be like, oh my god, Josuke just did something crazy, nobody even know what that is. Oh, look what's happening with the character. Like, he's going to be, and that is the classic JoJo style, which is a lot of the characters have inner and outer monologues. They talk to themselves, they blah 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 blah, they explain everything that's happening, and you have multiple fights or boss battles until you get to the finale, to the ultimate villain. So that is classic JoJo style, and that is why this character is important, because he's going to be explaining, especially for you newbies, what's going on, what's happening. So I like him as a character. He's not annoying, he's pretty interesting, and I feel like he's going to be an important character in the plot, because at some point I feel like he's gonna get kidnapped and then our characters are gonna have to go rescue him or something. We're gonna find out. Now, fan favorite, Jotaro is back and he's part of the main cast, but he's not the MC. All right, let me explain. So Jotaro comes, he's 28 years old now, he's older. He's dressing a little bit different, seems more calm, more mature, but it seems like he's not as strong as he used to be. Now, this could be a problem. I know a lot of you are gonna complain, like, why couldn't he stop time forever? Why is he so weak compared to 11 years ago? Let me explain. If they made him as powerful or stronger than 11 years ago, this guy would be totally OP, overpowered. There would be no real reason to have the other characters. Now, there's exceptions, for example, Saitama and Genos, but the whole purpose of that series of One Punch Man is the fact that you have one punch. That's the basis of the anime, but that is not what JoJo is. The basis of JoJo is not one punch or having an OP character. It is developing these characters, which is why they had to handicap Jotaro. So in this episode, it's been 11 years, 10 years since Jotaro was able to stop time, freeze time. And now he was able to do it for 1 second. So that's great, because now we're gonna get to see further development and we're gonna get to see him progress instead of just having this character that's totally OP. So I feel like that was a good move from the writers and the directors to go to make him a little bit handicapped in terms of his abilities. Now, he's here because he wants to tell the Higashikata, if I say that correctly, family, that Joseph is having his inheritance split between, 3. So 1/3, 1/3, 1/3. And what he doesn't know, what Jotaro doesn't know, is that it's about Josuke. And Josuke doesn't know about Jotaro. And I'm sorry if I'm butchering Josuke's name. But they don't know about each other. So they finally get to find out who they are by fighting. Of course, classic JoJo style. Now let me talk about this fight for a second, because it was a little bit disappointing in the sense that Jotaro almost got beaten by a high school student, a freshman. Okay, a freshman, this guy who doesn't even know what a stand is, what a stand user is. He just knows he has his special abilities. So now that was a little bit disappointing. Jotaro did say something interesting, and we don't know the exact answer. He said, if this would have continued, one of us would have seriously gotten hurt. Now, he didn't say it was gonna be me, but I'm assuming he means Josuke would have been seriously hurt, or maybe himself. We don't know. So that's kind of interesting to take a note of. But yeah, he is actually a ecological, he's a researcher and a marine explorer. So that, I was not expecting that at all. He's definitely matured. He probably has a girlfriend somewhere, his own life. Now let's talk about Josuke for a second, because he's the most interesting character that we've seen so far. I think this was a very smart move for the studio and for the directors and the writers to have this character, to have this bipolar character, because he fits 2 roles. He fits on your daily, on your normal day. He's comedic, he's funny, he's extremely sweet, extremely nice. But if you talk about his hair in a bad way, he goes bipolar. He turns into this insanely merciless character, no mercy, completely. I mean, he almost beat Jotaro, okay? So this guy is pretty scary when he's mad. And I think that's a great plot element to have this bipolar character, because he fits 2 roles, he's interesting, and he's unpredictable. If you piss him off at the wrong time, I mean, honestly, you don't know what's gonna happen. So I really like this about this character. And he also seems like he's gonna be able to grow. He's already very powerful. His stand has the ability to punch. When he touches you, he deforms whatever he touches. He changes the shape of it, but then he heals it by rewinding back time. And that's what's happening here, is that time is rewinding on the subject that he punches. So if he punches my arm, all right, my arm isn't healing back to normal. It's reversing time, but just my arm, just this point in space is getting reversed in time. So that's what's happening, which means that this opens up the ability for Josuke to eventually be able to either stop time or control time, or I don't know, something really interesting is gonna happen with time. But they're definitely putting little Easter eggs and setting it up to go that route. I like his hair, I like the character design, I love the voice actor, everything about him I think is excellent. What I don't like is the fact that they're making Joseph into this character that is a cheater, that has an affair. And I get it, you wanna introduce Josuke as part of the family, but I mean, to paint Joseph as this cheater person having an affair is just so wrong to his image and to the epic character that he is. If you're a newbie, that's all you know. You don't know Joseph, you don't know what he's done, who he is, why he's loved by the community. All you know is that he's a cheater, all right? And that's not fair to do to Joseph. So I hope that they explain that a little further in the upcoming episodes. And I just don't think you needed to, I think that's unnecessary in order to introduce these new characters. You didn't have to paint Joseph as this cheater. All right, so moving on, there's a lot of chaos. All right, there are these characters, these villains in this city. We don't know why, we don't know what they're looking for. Why are they here? Why don't they pick on some big cities? Why are they in this specific town? And Angelo is the first villain that we see. Now Angelo is not particularly impressive. His stand is able to possess people. We've seen something similar before. So he's able to possess people, and it seems like he's going to attack the mother of Josuke. But luckily Josuke is in the house. Hopefully he gets downstairs in time. And he's definitely gonna be the first villain. He's gonna get his ass whooped, totally. And then there's a few other villains that we see pictures of, but are those the only villains? Who is the ultimate villain? Is it gonna be kind of like every episode there's a new villain, you beat them, you move on to the next villain? Sometimes it's split into 2 episodes, like part 1 and part 2. We don't know, but what we do know is that Jotaro is gonna be probably the mentor of Josuke, and he's gonna watch Josuke grow as a character. I mean, I just love the dynamic of these characters, and we're gonna get to see a few more. This isn't it. There's a few more characters that are gonna be joining the main cast very, very soon. Moving on, I'm going through my notes here. What I really like about Josuke is the fact that his ability is something that we really haven't seen before. During that scene when you had one of the characters who was possessed by Angelo, or the stand of Angelo, and he was about to stab the girl, and then Josuke comes in. He goes through the body of both of them, and then takes his hand out, and the knife is inside the guy who was holding the knife, but the girl, she's unharmed. I mean, what totally blew my mind is the fact that he went as far as to go through her body. Maybe he knows that she's gonna come out unharmed. Maybe he controls his powers. He knows the extent of his powers pretty well. But I thought that was ballsy. I thought that was awesome. Man, this guy's got big balls to do that. The censorship. Let me talk about censorship for a second. Yes, this is JoJo. There's gonna be censorship, but it's not gonna be as bad as Terraformers. All right, it's not gonna be as bad as that. There is gonna be censorship, but not done in a way where you won't enjoy the series or the episodes. The censorship actually kind of looks artistic. And let me talk about art for a second, because this episode and the series as a whole, part 4, they're really playing around with colors. Now, we've seen this before in part 3, but we're really seeing this a lot in part 4, that the way they use color, the color grading during different moments, you see the colors of the characters change, of the atmosphere, the background, to symbolize either something scary, something happy, something sad. So definitely pay attention to colors, because that's gonna be something we're gonna see very often throughout the episodes. So I'm gonna be paying close attention to the colors. Now, I think I'm just like talking forever, so I'm gonna end it here. If there was anything that in particular that I missed, let me know in the comments below. Overall, the music, let me talk about the music for a second. I thought the music was spot on, very good. I wouldn't say it's better than part 3, but it's on the same level. So, I mean, it's only been 1 episode, but so far I'm really enjoying the music, the story element, the momentum, the pacing. everything, the way they're setting up this episode, and they're setting up little elements to bring in new elements into the further episodes, I just think they're doing an amazing job. I love JoJo, I love part 4, I love this episode. I think this is gonna be a hit. Whether it becomes anime of the year, we don't know, but it's definitely gonna compete because it is JoJo, all right? So let me know in the comments below if this was your first time watching JoJo, any sort of JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, whether you've seen the previous seasons, and what were your thoughts? Do you like this new Josuke character, or would you have preferred if they continued to follow Jotaro? Again, you guys know how JoJo works, and they don't focus on one character forever. They eventually kick them out to the side and include them in the cast, but make room for a new MC. And that's what's happening here. Joseph is not MC anymore. Jotaro is not MC anymore. Now we have Josuke. He is the new MC. And if this continues into part 5, part 6, the same thing is gonna happen. Eventually, Josuke will not be the MC, and there'll be somebody new who's part of the JoJo family, all right, taking the role of the MC. So let's see how the other characters are. We'll see what happens in the next episode, and I will see you guys in the next video.
Fuck that bitch. Now I'm in the